this?
I do. I need a case of it. I need a case.
Okay, all right, I'll get it for you.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Fatfish heads. It's time for another edition of the hottest new podcast on all platforms, Fatfish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fatfish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
72, baby. Let's go.
70. I'm terrific. How are you?
I'm always good when I see your pudding, man. When we do this, it's a lot of fun.
Back at you. Yeah, it is. You know, people say, hey, how can you guys, you're not making money on this thing? I said, well, we will, number one. Number two, I get a chance to work with a huge talent in Hollywood. He puts up with my bullshit because I talk all the time. But the bottom line is I'm having fun. It's a fun, cathartic 45 minutes to an hour, every week.
Wait. Did you say huge talent in Hollywood?
Well, you're big, and you're talented, But no, you're a huge talent. I put a clip of Brad last week on TikTok about him talking about being on Shameless, and the actor Dermot Mulroney gets in his face over a bad, a service in a restaurant, and I cannot believe the amount of hits we've had because of that. That's a huge talent that you could tell a talent like Mulroney, you know what? No, you didn't rough me up in the scene, but your breath smells like a sewer. Take a mint next time you do a scene. You're going to be in kissing scenes.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
I'm excited about today, man. You know what, Brad? You know my favorite sport, and I want you to introduce this guy because this is only the third time that we've had a guest come back for an encore performance.
Yeah, well, he's a great guy. Just being a great guy. His favorite color is green. Ladies and gentlemen, the great JB Jason Bennett.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
How are you?
Good.
Welcome back.
All right.
I had the pleasure of meeting this guy, Brad, and we had him on a show about 25 shows ago, and we hit it off right away because what have been common sports, and he's the original Philly fanatic. And I said, Brad and I are going to get in this last man contest, standing contest, that being Fat Fish. The winner gets $2,500, which means I get $2,000 and Brad gets $500 for his per diem and eating budget. The National Football League is so huge for bars, and it's so huge in this country. I thought, what a better guy to come on and help preview the season, because we're going to have John Hardison on doing some odds for us every other week on the show. So thank you for your tutelage and your mentorship. And by the way, who's your Super Bowl picks not named the Philadelphia Eagles?
I would say that you got to still go with the favorites, and that would be Kansas City. But NFC, it's kind of hard because it's kind of wide open in the NFC. So I would say, and I gotta say it, I would say between San Francisco and Philadelphia still. So I would go with a KC, and I think this year Philadelphia is going to get San Francisco. So I would go with a rematch of Super Bowl 58.
Brad, you got a take on that, and then I'll go.
Can you imagine if KC can win 3 in a row? Wow.
Yeah.
When was the last time that was done? I mean,
don't think so.
Has it ever been done?
Done, no. Because back in the days when Dallas was really good, I think they only did it twice. Back in the day when San Francisco was really good, I think they only did it twice. I don't even know if they did it back to back. I'm not quite sure. But I know Pittsburgh has done it back to back. Dallas have done it back to back. But it'll be a stretch. I mean, it's hard because of the parity in the NFL for a team to go 3 years in a row. And teams have gotten better over the off season. So I don't know. I mean, Baltimore has gotten better. Teams in the AFC, the Texans have gotten better.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. It might be some hard trudging for the for the Kansas City Chiefs, but they're the favorites. So you got to, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So we'll see what happens.
I got 3 teams in the NFC that can give the Eagles problems, and I'm not going. I'm
say
not.
Green Bay.
I'm saying Green Bay, the youngest team in the league, the Detroit Lions, and you know what? This team finished strong last year. The Los Angeles Rams, Brad lives in Los Angeles. They haven't had a first-round draft pick until this year for 7 years. I've never seen this. And they went to the playoffs 6 of the 7 years, JB, and Brad, and they went to the Super Bowl twice and won it. I think they're going to be a contender. I like Kansas City and Philadelphia. Those are safe picks. But if you have to ask me some dark horses in the NFC, not even dark horses, Green Bay, Detroit, the Rams.
Today's my nephew's birthday. I want to shout out to Justin Hovey. He works for the Rams. He works in the publicity department there, and he deals with all the reporters and all those people. So I want to wish him a very happy. This is his 4th season with he started with the Rams, and they won a Super Bowl. So there we go, right? So wish him a happy birthday, Justin Hovey, baby. By the way,
happy birthday, Justin.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Yeah. By the way, Fish, what about your Raiders?
Well, there's teams that, okay, we could talk about teams that are on the cuffs of making the playoffs. Yeah. I'm a big believer of this, Brad, because you're a big basketball guy and in any sport. If you have a great defense, you're always in any game, in any sport.
Very true.
The Raiders' defense in the last 9 games under Antonio Pierce was 2nd in the NFL. You know what number 1 was the Kansas City Chiefs. That got lost. That being said, the Raiders probably have a little bit of a quarterback problem. The quarterback, I never forget listening to Howard Cosell say this. He's right. That quarterback is the most important person in all of sports. He has the ball every single time, and it's true. If you don't have a quarterback, you're going to stink. So what do I think the Raiders do? I think they win between 8 and 10 games. That's conceivable. What about you, JB? And you live here. You know the market here. So
yeah, and my son-in-law, as you met my son-in-law before, he's a big Raiders fan as well. So I think I would say between 7, 8, or 9 games. It just depends on how they get off, because I like Antonio Pierce, and he really seemed to have brought the team together, and the guys really like playing for him. So yeah, I think between 7, 8, and 9 games. And I don't know. It's still a guy out there on the market that y'all can put on the side of Adams that you guys can probably pick up if you guys are smart. He's out there because he's wanting to leave San Francisco. What do you think about that?
Oh, Brandon Ayuk? No, he wants. We don't have the money. He wants 35 million, 30 to 35 million a year. We're already paying Devontae 30 million a year, so I like it. You could trade for him, and that's another story. I'll ask both you guys this. We talked about. I start up by saying who's going to be in the Super Bowl, and that's not a reach in all the teams. Give me, Brad. Think of one team in each conference, if you're familiar, the AFC and NFC, and I'm going to put my thinking cap on. That was lousy last year. That'll be in the playoffs this year. You go first, JB.
That was lousy last year, but will be in the playoffs this year. NFC. Let me think about that for a second.
I could go first.
Oh yeah, no.
I could definitely.
I really think it's going to be. People sleep on this team, but I think they got better over the offseason. And I think it's the Washington Commanders. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. So that, that cakewalk that people say that, that's in the NFC East for like either Dallas or Philadelphia is not going to be a cakewalk, because the Commanders has gotten better over the offseason. They picked up some nice pieces. So I would say in the NFC, the Commanders, and the AFC, I don't know. I wouldn't say. Well, I'm trying to figure it out. AFC. While I'm thinking about that, Fish, you can go ahead and go. I'm going to think about the AFC. I just knew my NFC pick.
I'm big on the Giants. I think the Giants are going to surprise people. Defense finished
Mhm.
13th. I love what this Malik Neighbors kid. I watch him play
Mhm.
LSU. He's got a chance to be a Randy Moss or Jamar Chase. And if
Mhm.
you know what that means, two of the most prolific rookie seasons as a receiver in the NFL history. In the AFC, I'm a homer. I think it's the Raiders or the Chargers. I think the Chargers, Justin Herbert's a stud. You can't tell me that Jim Harbaugh is not going to make him a better quarterback. So those are my two teams. Maybe you're looking at someone in the AFC like this. Are you looking at someone like maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were okay last year to make the playoffs, but that any Mike Tomlin team is always going to be a dark horse to make the playoffs. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I would say people are sleeping on the Patriots. They had one of the better. They had an okay defense last year. It's just putting it together on offense, and if they could make some noise, they still need a couple of pieces. Before the season starts. So with guys that'll be released and things like that before the season starts and things of that nature. If they could get another receiver, I would say they could make, just not a lot of noise, but they probably could push into the wild card in the AFC.
Brad?
Yeah, I think NFC. I'm going to go with the Bears. I like the Bears.
Oh,
Yeah,
great call.
I like the Bears. I
Good
like the
call,
Bears.
Brad.
yeah.
I like the Bears and I like the Raiders. I really think the Raiders are going to do something this year. I think this is their year to make that next step. So
Yeah,
with Chicago and Cincinnati and the Bears. Yeah,
Chicago and the Raiders. So what team we were because we can't stand this guy because he's a prick. But one team you got to take another shot at, JB and Brad, is the Jets had the fifth-rated defense. And if you think of Aaron Rodgers and picking up Mike Williams and all the guys they got in the draft, the Jets have a shot to be that one team that stunk last year to make the playoffs. But I just, Rodgers, Rodgers with this flat earthing shit. Howard Stern. I think Howard Stern said to him, "Aaron, when you're driving, where on the earth does it turn flat?" So I can tell all my ex-wives to go there and just goes into space. He gets up and walks off the set.
I don't think Rodgers.
That's rumor.
I think he's done. I really do. Even
I don't.
Yeah.
No. He doesn't come back from this injury. Come on, JB.
Yeah.
Fucking Achilles.
Thinking that. Yeah, I'm just thinking that that was pretty brutal. First game of the season, he goes down, and and he looked like he was looked like he was making some inroads toward the end of the season last year. So will he come back 100% healthy? I don't know. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, he's what, 38, 39 going into the season. I don't know if he can withstand all that, the heat that's he's going to be facing this year. The offensive line is probably their weakest part of their team. If the offensive line can stand up, he may be. They might be able to make a little noise, but it just depends on that offensive line because that's what got him hurt last year.
That's true. Those guys coming around right and left end, man, they want him. They want to pop him good,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, you know what they're saying. We're going to get him again.
Yeah.
What happens?
Being a Raider fan, this is 19 out of 21 years that we've stunk. I want to show you a meme of me if I was in a cartoon as Homer Simpson watching a Raider game most years. I'm sorry. I love you, JB, but your love of Philadelphia sports. You got the Phillies are killing it. The Sixers have such upside with Embiid. The Flyers are the Flyers, and Philly is tremendous upside.
Yeah.
Look, matter of fact, that could be Brad. So it's exciting. Football is. Let me ask you this: are you guys, Brad? Because Brad's in an entertainment industry. Can you believe Tom Brady's making $37 million a year to call a game? That's two for 17 games that he's going to do. Do the math, guys. That's almost $2 million a game. You think of all the people you watch in the NFL, JB. You and I were younger. They made $2 million for their career.
Yeah.
Thank God he's getting that money. But do you think he's going to be that good?
I don't know. I haven't, I think, he was a great player and all, but I mean, if anybody knows the sport, he does, you know what I'm saying? So he can get out there and call who I thought was a great and people don't like him, but he talked a little bit too much was Romo. I think he was pretty good at announcing, but Tom Brady, I mean, we'll have to see. I think that's a lot of money. It's like you giving him NBA money, to call games, you know what I'm saying? 35 mil a year to call 17 games, that's a lot of money. So, they're forking up a lot of money for that.
I'll give you an analogy. Brad managed a unbelievable mud wrestling stripping place called the Hollywood Tropicana for 14 years in LA. That's like giving Brad $500,000 a year, right? He gets to mud wrestle any girl that he wants, take one home a week, and they pay for all his meals and all his drinks for all his friends when they come in there. That's the analogy, when you think, because it's sick. $2 million a game to call a football game?
Yeah, that's
fantastic. Hey, God bless. I want to ask you this, JB and Brad. I want your opinion on this too. Whenever you hear these guys making big money, Trevor Lawrence, 55 million, Tua, I say go get the goddamn money. You know what? The market's out there. Get the money while it's out there. Don't blame. Don't be a hater and blame the player. People are watching the sport. The money's there. Go grab it. What do you guys think?
I mean, I agree too. And then that's what, as a player, that's what you have to do. Is like, while you can still play, you have to go get the most amount of money you can. You just can't pass off on that money. You know what I'm saying? So if I was playing and I was in that position, it's all about the money. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely go after the money.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these guys, football's a dangerous sport. One pop, your career's over. Of course you take the money. You worked so hard to get there. You cash in, But there's some people, like I always say, like in show business, like Adam Sandler, he does very well. All these people that do well. I love when the person that does well is a good person. Like Adam Sandler, he deserves everything because he helps people. He does things behind the scenes. Carrot Top, Vegas boy. We love Carrot Top. Scott Thompson, he's been at the Luxor 17 years. He makes a nice living. He deserves it. But there's some that don't, with their big mouth, and they do the wrong thing. They hang out with the wrong crowd. Like, I'll give you an example. You guys tell me, Jay Moran, do you think he'll come back? What do you think? This guy with the gun and the strip club. I mean, kids see this shit, and what is he doing? And he's such a great player, but we'll see. We'll see.
I think he does come back, and I agree with you 1,000% because I'll give you a guy. You talk about good guys: Scott Thompson, Carrot Top, Sandler. I'll give you a guy that's your guy. Jalen Hurts is the most unassuming, wonderful human being. He does such philanthropy and great things in the community, like Adam Sandler does so much for kids and hunger. Same with Scott Thompson. Hurts is doing so much for people that are hungry, and you never hear about it. I can't stand when guys go out there and you see them, there's cameras when they're doing stuff. That's one thing that bothers me. The guys like that, when Jalen Hurts is phenomenal. Did you know, JB, what a philanthropist this kid was?
No, I didn't know that, but I know he did give back because I read some articles in the Philly Inquirer about him and some of the Philly websites about Jalen giving back to the kids in Philly and to the kids back in the Houston area that where he's from. So I know he did give back. Yeah. So
can I give big props to the guy above you? Okay, Brad. Brad and I are simpleton. We're working class dicks. He goes out and drives a Lyft. He's a great actor. You know what I do? Bartending. We make a living. Brad goes out and he'll take. I'm not joking. I've heard of some other people. I heard it from Lauren Francesca, who you did a podcast with. It's the same thing. He learned. He goes out and takes whatever extra money he has and gets McDonald's and gives to homeless people. All right. He doesn't. I'm telling you, he'll never tell you he does that. Now he eats half the hamburgers before he gives it to him, but the thought was there.
I got to make sure that it's not poison for the homeless.
No, you do, Brad. You make fun of yourself, but you do that kind of crap. And I wish I did more. But I do a lot of things, and I help.
Do the best I can.
To segue for a little bit.
I wish I could do more. Hopefully, one day I can.
Me too.
Do more.
Yeah, for sure.
let's segue a little bit to the Olympics, because I'm enamored. I love it. I can't believe how wonderful we're doing. All three of us, and you guys go, especially you, Brad, because all three of us watched that Serbia USA game yesterday, which was one of the most phenomenal basketball games. Media, quit fucking, excuse my language, pouncing on Steve Kerr. All right. It's tough to get all-stars together with their egos. Like Brad said, what did you say in rehearsal, Brad? Tell us. Say, you guys talk about what you said. Doesn't matter how much you win by, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much you win by. You win by 1, you win by 4, you win by 30. It's a win, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's on Steve Kerr. Oh my God, we almost lost to what was it? South
Sudan.
Sudan. Listen, it's a game. You have good days, bad days, but if you win, you win. You move on to the next one, right?
Yeah.
I just text Steve yesterday. He got back to me today, and I said, Steve, buddy, don't listen to these fucking people. Listen, you're gonna go get the gold. You win by 1, you win by 30. Listen, it's the talent, the bar is raised all over the world now, right?
Yeah.
So listen, let's get the goal, bring it home, and that's it. All these fucking assholes with the, oh, Steve Kerr, and he should do this, and he's not using this player and that. But who the fuck cares? Get the win, right?
Yeah.
You got so much talent to pick from. You can't play everybody, and there's only 10-minute quarters, not 15. So,
JB, what's your take? JB, let's get JB on this.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Steph.
Nobody's going to think any different of you because you win by 1 or if you win by 30. Like Brad was saying, it's like a win. It is a win. Even if you win in that fashion where you win a close game, people are going to love you. They're still going to love him regardless. They're still going to love Team USA regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because this is probably the first time where we had on Team USA where it was older guys. You got LeBron 39, Steph that's in what 35, playing Durant around the same age, and those are our big 3 on the team. And then you got some younger guys that's in there. Embiid is 30, 31. I mean, this is probably the oldest team we've had, So I mean, people are going to love it.
Could I finish up on that? And you tell the passion. I heard Curry interviewed yesterday by Mike Tirico and LeBron, and they said this means more to us. I couldn't believe it, than championships, because we're playing with the elite in a game against the world, and there's great players out there. Serbia had Jokic, another guy that's supposed to make the NBA, and 3 guys that Brad could beat in a 3-on-3 game, And the talent of the world, it has risen, and to see the passion of these guys that want this so bad. LeBron and Curry have won championships. Durant's won a championship, right? And I think it's great. What do you guys? I think the USA, Brad. I think they beat France by more than. I think the the point spread here, JB, is 14. I think we blow them out.
I agree with you. I think this France USA. For the last 5 times that USA has played France in the Olympics, the games were kind of close, but I think the talent level on the French team is not where it needs to be. You got Wembanyama and a few other guys, but I think this game is going to be a blowout, total blowout.
What's your take, Brad? I want you guys' take on the. I'll go last. I want you guys' overall take on the Olympics, the coverage, and the competition. One of you guys go, and I'll go last.
Well, first of all, I want to say this: we were down by 17 against Serbia. Okay, and remember, we were down by like 4 or 5, maybe 8, with like a minute or 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
it's never over. We're the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? And we have Steve Kerr. I mean, he lives his life. He's right. He doesn't get excited. He's a great coach and a great guy. Let me tell you guys, one thing about the Olympics that I love are those moments in time. Cole Hawker winning the 1500. Was that incredible? The guy, it's like a Rocky story. Some of these people, it's wonderful. How about the guy from Cuba? 5 then he takes off his shoes and puts them in the middle of the ring and says, "I'll see you later. I had a great run." I mean, what's great about the Olympics, guys? They work their ass off all their life for one moment in time. one moment in time. And that's the great thing about it. Anything can happen, and it did. So many great moments. JB?
Yeah, I think as far as my take on the Olympics, I've enjoyed it so far. I didn't know that, and I don't know if I said this to you last night, Fish, but I was looking at the 200 final with Noah Lyles, and for him to even medal in the 200 was a feat for itself, because they had just found out that he had COVID earlier in the week, and he still tried to run. And I know that, if he had COVID earlier in the week, it was he ran on a Thursday. So it's like there's something still lit in his system, and he's still trying to get out there and run. His body wasn't right. He did, it wasn't feeling all right, but he still got out there anyway and ran. I don't know if they cleared him so he could run, but he ran, and he just didn't look like himself. He didn't have the speed that he normally would have. And there was this African dude from Botswana that, just took over in the 200 race. And then we had the young man, Bennett, who was adopted by this older white lady, as is, she adopted him when he was a kid, and he got the silver, and Noah Lyles came in third. So it's like he just didn't look right. As far as my take on the coverage of the Olympics, I wish when they have the Olympics, and it's going to be overseas, that we have more outlets to watch some of these events, because if you don't have like Peacock or something like that, then a lot of people are missing out on a lot of these great moments in time, as Brad said, because that game yesterday, it was like you don't want to see the replay of the game. You want to be there when it happened. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to watch it, as it was going on. And some of these events, you wanted to just be there for that, so you can watch it kind of like in real time. But I just think the coverage, as far as how they present it, as far as the outlets, the media outlets that they have it on. Why couldn't they just run some of this stuff on regular NBC? But it's the time zones, the time differences. Get that, but they got to find out a better way to do that, because people are having to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch track and field, or stuff like that. So just work out that time. And I think the Olympics is going to be that one thing that people put down, what they're doing to watch.
Fish, before you finish up, I want to say one thing. I have met him. I love him. Snoop Dogg. Too much Snoop Dogg. I love the guy. I don't know. I can't. It's just too much. I see him
love the
dancing.
guy. Love him.
I love him, but it's overload. Come on now. Too much.
There was a lot of coverage on him. It's like everywhere he went, and everywhere.
And I do love him.
Event he showed up to, there was coverage about him. So
less is more. Less is
You
more.
should have made more comedy with him. He should have him walk up to a bunch of athletes before they do the 200 meters and say, "Try some of this." But then they test him. I got two takes. Sha'Carri Richardson. I have a big crush on Sha'Carri Richardson, and she had the greatest line ever. She said, "It may be 10 seconds to you, but it's a lifetime for me." And at the moment of time, Brad, you nailed it in the head. The second thing is, you would not believe the fornication that goes on. The Olympic Village, think about 200,000 condoms. There is sex going on left and right in the Olympic Village. I could never be an Olympic athlete because I have a high libido, JB, and so do you. You have a beautiful wife. I got a beautiful wife. Brad's got two beautiful wives. But still, you're in Olympic Village. How do you get up for your event when you're up all the time with your? It was insane. I heard who was talking about it? Was it Colin Cowherd saying it's a sex fest? And when the Olympics were here in 1984, I bartended down at the Coliseum in LA. And by the way, the Olympics, boy, Brad's going to be great. 2028, the Olympics are in Los Angeles. And if we're still doing the show, hoping to make a ton of money, we're bringing JB live to cover it. That being said, could you imagine? I saw what went on in Olympic Village in 1984. Unbelievable. I think it's great. That's my kind of coverage, gentlemen.
I was kind of surprised that when I heard that because I think I heard it on a sports cast. I don't remember what I was watching, if I was watching Fox or if I was watching ESPN, and somebody made mention of what you just said, Fish, about how many condoms that they gave out. And I was like, really? I said, really? These people are, professional athletes. They're there to do a job. You think that would be the last thing that's on their mind?
No,
But
it's
yeah,
JB. Ask Brad.
yeah,
Okay, that and masturbation are stress relievers. All right, and if you look at the women, all Jakari Richardson, all these women, Simone Biles is married. They're all gorgeous. The gymnast, the
Right.
Montreal Bulgarian, they're all gorgeous looking people. The guys are good looking guys, and they're there. They have nothing to do. What if you had an event, Brad, in a second, you're there, and it's 13 days Olympics, and your event ends in the day 2, and you're hanging out. Hey man, I'm there. I want to party.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it is what segue into something like that. We have 2 new members of the political arena in Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Mhm.
Right. I heard was it Stern that said, and I agree. Kamala Harris, and I've seen her. She wears his pantsuits. But it's so good looking. She could be the first president to make a swimsuit model calendar after and do all 12 months of saying things. That's a seller for me, guys. I'm sorry,
On a calendar, is that what you're saying?
Well, they asked Howard. One time Howard Stern was asked, "How can you going to vote for Trump? You're going to vote for Hillary?" And he goes, "Well, I'm a chronic masturbator, and I can't. Would you rather do that to Hillary and Chelsea or Melania and Ivanka?" So I'm not going sex here. I'm just saying. I want to ask JB your take on it. Brad and I talked about it last week. I think I was pretty much resigned to the fact that if Joe Biden would have ran against Trump would have beat him. I don't know right now, man. I think we got a race like we do in some of those Olympics that go down to his nose. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Joe Biden dropping out was probably the best thing for the party and best thing for the American people, because you could see in that last debate that he did with Trump that, I mean, Trump is older too, but I mean, cognitively, he's still a little bit on the better side than Joe Biden to me. As I saw it, as just as far as debates and stuff like that are concerned. To me, him dropping out kind of injected some life into the Democrats, because you're seeing these crowds now at the Kamala Harris Walz events that are coming into the forefront, that are like the old Obama type events, to where it's 10,000 people, it's 12,000 people, it's 15,000 people at these events. And it's injected some life into the Democratic Party. So I think that's probably was the best thing for the Democrats going forward. I don't know how long this honeymoon lasts. I mean, it looked like it's going to last until I would say up until they have their event. The Democrats have their event, and we'll see what kind of push she gets after the convention. After the convention is over, we'll see if that that honeymoon is still going, and we'll see how it goes. But the polls are getting tighter. Some of these swing states are polls are getting tighter as well. So just from my standpoint, I think it's going to be down to the last. Down to the last. We got to try to get some independent voters in there. We got to try to get some of these undecided voters out to vote, and that's what's going to decide the race. As far as Coach Walz, as I call him, I think he's just an everyday normal guy. That's what it seems like, and I think that's good for some of the swing states. that he can get in there and talk to these people in middle America and talk to them, and you know, and he's just a guy that seemed just like them. So I think I think the Democrats are in a good position right now.
I think it's going to come down to the debates. You know, it's going to be interesting because Coach is going to he's going to clean their clock. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure.
And Kamala, I'm going to give you an analogy, JB and Fish, wherever you are. I think that I think Kamala is going to hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer and beat this guy. And adios, Uncle Lumpy Trumpy, happy, baby. And he'll do the recount, witch hunt. He'll do all that crap. But the bottom line is, I like it because, you know, Joe Biden, he did a good thing. You know, for his legacy and for the Democratic Party, step aside. Because I just saw an interview with him the other day, and he messed up like like 2 names. Oh my God, I felt so bad for him. So it was time, and he got pressure from all the donors and the money and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So Kamala beats him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because as you
what are you doing? Pull up your pants, Fish. What the hell is going on over there? There he goes again.
He wasn't finished.
I know. By the way, JB, when you went to Shucks, did you go there all the time, or did you?
I usually go there every now and then. Me and my wife will go. When Fish is there. So that's normally after midnight. So we'll go there and hang out with Fish for a few hours, and you know, kick back, have a couple of drinks, grab a bite to eat, and just hang out. Yeah. So I mean, our time there is just, you know, to hang out with Fish so we can talk sports or talk, you know, whatever is going on in the day or whatever the case is. So yeah, but yeah, just hang out every now and then. We like, let's go see Fish, you know. So yeah,
usually people go when he's not there. But anyway, you know, Fish is he's the greatest bar. I'm telling you, next to Sam Malone on Cheers, he's the greatest bartender that ever lived. I'm telling you.
He's a great guy, man.
He's a great guy.
Man, they should give him the Norm treatment that, you know, every time he walk into the door, they yell out his name, Fish, like they used to do with Norm on Cheers.
Right. They should. Fish.
Every time.
Behind the bar. Yeah. He's
great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, but
it is crazy because my wife was just telling me, was like, we was there one time, probably like an hour or so before Fish came on, and then there's no slight to the other people that work there, but at the same time is like, you know, let's order some drinks, and then it was like we noticed the difference in how Fish makes his drinks and then how other bartenders make their drinks. It was like. This is definitely not what Fish would do. So
right, exactly.
For the same drink. So when Fish comes in, it's like, here, y'all, you done with this drink? Yeah, go ahead and take this. And it's like, let me get a margarita. You got a full glass of a margarita there, JB? No, let me get one of your margaritas. So,
there we go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Fish knows how to do it. I hope he writes a book one day because he knows. I mean, 40-something years, man. This guy has been behind the bar. He's just a very special guy. So tell me, other than football, is football, of course, your favorite sport? What would be what's the top 3, top 4? What do you like baseball better than basketball, or what?
So it would be football first, then basketball, and then baseball. Unfortunately, my Flyers is my 4th best team in Philadelphia. You know, we're going through some growing pains with that, as every team does. You know, you can only be good for so long before you have to tear it down and rebuild and things of that nature. So it's like right now, the Flyers are in the kind of like that rebuilding stage right now. So it's like it's going to take them a few years to get, you know, where we need them to get. So it's like right now, football's the top of the echelon for us, and then basketball is always going to be there, and the Phillies are killing it right now. So I was like, I forgot that they were playing the Diamondbacks. I watched that game last night as well before I came over to see Fish last night. So it's like they're killing it. they've been in a little slump for a little minute, coming off the All-Star break, but they seem to be picking it back up. And you went to LA, won 2 out of 3 this week, and I wasn't expecting that, but we had swept them. We had swept the Dodgers in Philadelphia. So and then we got a 4-game set that started last night with the Diamondbacks, and we beat them last night with a young guy. His name is Cody Allard. That was his second time pitching in the majors, and he got the win last night. So that was cool.
You're a Philly boy. You know, I got to go to Philly because my little brother in my fraternity from the University of Arizona, Perry Milo, he's an artist, amazing artist, kind of like an Andy Warhol kind of a guy.
Yeah.
And but you got Kevin Hart from Philly. You got Will Smith. I mean, you got a great crew. I mean, the list goes on and on. Philly is a great town. Do you get to go back a lot, or it's, visit?
Yeah. The last time I've been back to Philly was I took my family because they had never been. My wife and her kids had never been to the East Coast, so I was like, yeah, y'all got to experience it. So we kind of did this whole big trip. From we was living in California at the time. So we did this big trip, a 3-week trip that we flew into Newark, New Jersey. I got family in Jersey. We flew into Newark, and we did New York City at nighttime because I wanted them to see Times Square and all of that stuff at nighttime, the lights and all of that and everything that goes along with Times Square. We did Hershey Park in Pennsylvania.
Great.
Back in the day when I was a kid, the places that they used to take us when we were kids. And then we even went to Washington, D.C. So let them get that experience around D.C. And we went to a lot of museums. The African American Museum had just opened up the year that we went there. So we wanted to experience that as well. And we went to several other museums. We went to the Smithsonian while we were in DC. So it's a lot of history there as well. So and then we went from there, visit my brother in Virginia. He's now living in North Carolina. And I have 2 brothers living in North Carolina. So I went to go to Virginia to visit one of my brothers. I went to North Carolina to visit my other brother, my oldest brother. And then South Carolina, where my the rest of my siblings live at in South Carolina, and my parents, and went to go see them, and then had to make that drive all the way back up to Jersey because that's where we went to.
So. Family affair. Hey, Fish, are you back with us? Oh, Fish cannot hear us, unfortunately, but we are gonna, finish this up here. JB.
Oh, I could hear you.
Oh, you can hear us?
Yeah, I'm listening. All this shit you were talking about me, I can hear it.
How great you are! It was
I heard. I heard JB just say he went to the African American.
I gotta ask you a question. This is very important. Okay, you wear glasses. You're a very handsome man, by the way. I'm straight, but you are a very handsome man.
Thank you.
JB, you have glasses. Do you ever do? Yeah.
This.
You just
do that.
This clown we call Fish 100 fucking times all day long. This. I mean, his beautiful wife Vicky must go, could you go to the fucking glass store and fucking just get a better pair of glasses?
Well, wait. Let me talk. Let me talk. You say I do it 100. This is what you do 100 times a day. It's a circular motion.
I don't fucking do this, Mr. Magoo. Okay.
Oh, I saw your reading glass. He has reading glasses that have the watch. He's got it says they don't fall off his fucking head. Watch. No one wears glasses that have that. Yeah.
It's a good look, right, JB? Look.
Not. Yeah, you know what you need, Brad? You need one of those pencil pushers in your front pocket. You need a pencil pusher in your front pocket, Professor Grunberg.
Can I take your order? What would you like to drink?
I'll tell you something about the glasses. It's like no matter how many times you go get, when you get your glasses, you go there and they come back and then the person there is like, well, how do they fit on your face? And then they size them up for you to make sure that they they don't fall off your nose. But no matter how many times you do that, eventually when you start wearing them, taking them off, putting them on, is for some reason the nose guards on your glasses always seem to expand for whatever reason, and that's the reason why you got to do this all the time, because they slide down your nose.
See that? See that, Grunberg?
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I don't listen to you. I don't believe anything you say, but JB.
Yeah, you worry about your belt buckle and keeping your pants up, when you walk. He bends over. The guy can't walk in front of grade schools. He bends over and you see the crack of his ass and the whole school file.
Wait.
It's a
Be
nightmare.
careful. Grade schools. No.
Oh yeah. Look at Brad. JB.
Family
I love this
friendly,
guy.
Fish.
Jay, let me finish. You guys had all the attention while I went mute. While you're lucky. Brad's the only guy I know that hangs out at women's prisons on release day.
Oh,
That's
God.
it. That's it, JB. I'm sorry. That's all you need to know. Talk about being a Lyft driver.
They're been very lonely. That's why I'm very happy they got out. So I'm there.
Hey, real quick, guys, before we wrap this up. Give me your Super Bowl picks. I mean, you said you go Kansas City, Philadelphia, JB?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that until somebody is able to beat Kansas City in the AFC. I'm gonna stick with them, and I think just by a little smidge this year that Philadelphia is gonna surpass San Francisco this year.
Brad?
I agree. I think it's going to be Philly and it's going to be Kansas City in the Super Bowl, and it's going to be a great Super Bowl. And I think I'm going to say this. I really believe Philly's going to win. I think because in past Super Bowls they've been right there. When remember Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb, go the length. He's throwing up on the sidelines. It's time. Payback's a bitch. So I think Philly wins it. And unfortunately, the Raiders, one of my favorite teams, is not going to be there. Fish,
I'm gonna go. I want to blow you guys out of the mind. Philly, I love. Okay, don't laugh at me. The Houston Texans are going to make a run. The Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud, that team, Nico Collins is going to go to the Super Bowl. Just
really?
You heard it here first. What's it? August 9th?
Yeah.
So we all like Philly. I think the only problem I have with Philly is Sirianni, the coach, could be a little bit of an arrogant guy. But I could you imagine that? Can you imagine Jalen Hurts and C.J. Stroud in the Super Bowl? It'd be great.
That would be crazy.
Wow.
That would be crazy.
Oh man, JB, this has been unbelievable. This has been so
great,
much.
guys.
We got to have you back more often, please.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys, I appreciate the offer, and I thanks for thinking of me, and I totally appreciate it. And anytime y'all need a third or whatever, or if y'all want to talk sports, politics, whatever whatever you guys want to do, I'm up for it. So, I'm here.
Nice hand for Jason Bennett, baby. We call him JB. Thank you, buddy.
Great family. Before he leaves, you got to see the passion his wife has watching the Olympics. It's great. She's screaming, "Go, go, go!" And then she goes, "Who's that guy in the green?" I go, "They're from Ireland." I don't want them. Love you, Jay.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Buddy.
Thank you.
Right.
Stay safe. Have fun.
Wow.
What a great
What'd you guys talk about? Did you make fun of me?
We talked about, believe it or not, when thank God you were away, we talked about you and how he stumbled into Shucks and and you and how great a guy and a great bartender you are. I was lying. My nose was growing. Pinocchio.
Hey, Brad, talk about Cloudwater, because I drank so much on my vacation. What's your flavor today?
I have half tea and half lemonade. This is great stuff. It's great for your gut. And I got a big gut. It's just so good. Cloudwaterbrands.com. That's cloudwaterbrands.com. Friend and family discount, Fatfish20. And you guys, just buy a case. You'll thank me in the morning. It's so good. Mark and Barry did this unbelievable thing, and they have this great company, and they let us promote it. They're just great guys, and it's so good for you. I drink one of these every day. Fish, you need a new case, right? I'm gonna talk.
I do. I'll get a. Yeah, I should have. Well, I told you I brought 2 cases with me to Big Bear, and my wife loved it. My kid, my daughter-in-law. And again, I'm giving them, we mixed it with Bombay Sapphire gin and vodka. It's a wonderful mixer and it's refreshing drink if you want to have a little alcoholic adult beverage. So yeah, I need more.
A
And
little libation with
I want to
wild
join you in the
water.
toast. The toast.
Let's do it,
How's
baby.
your family, Brad? How's Jerry and Sandy doing?
Jerry is 92 years old, 1 month and 16 days. And I'm sorry, no. Yeah. What's today? Yeah. Okay, yeah. 16 days. And he is doing
9th.
great. My dad is amazing. 92 years old. He exercises twice a day. He watches all his games. He watches the Olympics. He watches, I mean, I'll tell you something. If I could live till 92 and be like, my dad's my hero. Thank you for asking. He's doing great. My mom, 83, nice Jewish couple, married 60, going to be 62 years, and they scream at each other all day long. So everything's great, and I'm the referee. But no, they're doing really well. And Annie, my daughter, Annie, the love dog, my golden doodle, I got her a makeover, and she's just adorable, and she's my best friend.
Yeah,
What's going on with you?
Brad puts these great videos on Instagram of hanging out with his dog, and he makes all these comments about how dogs are better than people. They are. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
We need other humans we talk about procreating in the Olympics and survive. But if every human had the disposition of Annie and my dog Molly that sits at me and just the tail wagging while I'm petting her while I'm doing the podcast, it's unconditional love, and that's all we want in this world, right?
Absolutely. No, I think, and people should rescue. People need dogs. When people say, "Oh, it's too expensive," no, it isn't. I mean, to find a dog a forever home, I'm telling you, it's all positivity and love. You guys go get yourself a dog, and don't get enough with these excuses. There's dogs that need homes, please. And if you've never had a dog, you'll thank me in the morning, because dogs are just amazing, right?
Well, you think about Annie, and you think about even me. Think about the times that you could be down. Fuck, I got 12 hours in this fucking lift, and that dog's wagging his tail and just can't wait to lick your face. And they're always there for you. Always. There's never any drama, like you have with siblings or friends, me in your life driving you fucking crazy, with my bullshit. So I'm a big dog advocate.
Dog is always, when you come home from a good day or bad day, they're always at the door waiting for you with their tail wagging, and they just want to spend time with you. So it's great.
Well, rub their, it's like you rub their belly and feed them, and they're happy.
Oh, Annie gets a lot of treats. Let me tell
What's your favorite? I mean, do you ever feel that I know you take her to Chick-fil-A or whatever, and you give her something, you get her a treat. Are you worried about the kind of treat you give her? Because that's a lot of fast food for that dog. Your metabolism's good for it.
The problem here is that everybody, is the Monday morning quarterback with me. I don't give her that every day. I just post it once.
I get it. I didn't say give it to her every day.
That's the time I do it. I don't do it.
Right.
I mean, yeah. But I just, everybody tells me this and that. Listen, everybody's an authority. Everybody's a veterinarian. I mean, listen. I've been so blessed that I've had dogs that have lived long lives. Okay. It's all about love, positivity, get rid of and I said this in many podcasts, get rid of the bullshit in your life, get rid of people that bring you down, toxicity, jealousy. I'm telling you, I've done it in the last couple of years. Fish, I'm getting ready to get rid of you. But I'm telling you, your life changes when you, Mr. Magoo, when you get rid of that. I'll give you an example. I have a lot of projects I'm working on with my writing partner, Sean White. Of course, I got some projects with you. When you get rid of these people, whatever it is that's bringing you down, other doors open. I'm telling you. Recently,
well, I learned through therapy, and I'm a man enough to say it, and that you can, and you're right, 1,000%. But there's might be people in your family that you have to deal with. But there's ways to get around it by putting yourself in a situation where when you're with that person or certain people, or you have to be with customers or something like that might want to bring you down, put yourself in a level of, hey, man, can you fucking believe that Joker was 0 for 6 from 3 points in the fourth quarter, and we won that game. Can you believe these videos I see of Brad and his dog? You always put yourself in a place of happiness because something. Look, Brad, I'm not going to mention names because it's being discreet, but there's
No.
people in your life you have to deal with that you don't want to, but you do
It's
because
part of life, exactly. But
yeah,
I'm telling you, there are people in your life. I'm going to tell you, I waited too long. My grandma, Nanny,
Nanny.
Helen Nanny Klein told me, "You're a goody goody. No good deed goes unpunished." All this stuff. If I listened to her, I would have righted the ship long ago. So I waited too long to get rid of some of these people. And you know what? I'm so happy. I made the right choice for me. For me. Other people will,
Well,
everybody, like I said, everybody wants to give you advice, even though you don't want it. But I'm happy. So,
Well, I'm
the
not
message-
telling you your nanny was wrong because your nanny
Yeah.
was your best friend and she's a wonderful human being from what I talked to. But where I differ a little bit is maybe those people are lucky to have you for the time they put up, because you probably gave them solace and humor and stuff like that. Even though they couldn't ingest it the way you take it in. Think about what you did for them. Don't think about okay,
I know.
it's inflecting on me. And look at it the other way. But you're right. And
I just
Nanny's
do what I
right.
do. I don't want anything from it. But they, when you have some people that take you for granted, that's one of the worst. You do what you do, and I live a certain way in my life, and I'm I'm your friend through and through. Somebody fucks with you, and somebody says some shit about you, Fish. They got to deal with me first. You know what I'm saying? And I stick up for my friends. But a lot of people,
You're the
they
worst.
worry
You're
about.
the worst watchdog on the planet. If someone's messing with me and they came to my front door, right?
Right.
If they had a filet mignon that was cooked with au gratin
Oh,
potatoes and a
more
fucking
food
asparagus,
jokes.
and you messing with fish? Oh, does that asparagus
What
have
is
garlic
that?
on it?
Sure,
Yeah.
come on
Here,
in.
Brad,
It's
eat this
fun.
while we beat the crap
Come
out
on,
of
give me
fish.
that steak. Come on in and fuck with Fish. Yeah.
Yeah, That's it. Hey, real quick, shout outs. Keith Berman,
Yes.
chemo every other day, fight of his
Oh,
life. Yeah, he says, tell Grunny I love him. Thank you
I
for
love
such
you,
the great
Keith.
wishes. I look forward to this. We're with you. We're with you in your fight mentally. We're with you spiritually. We know you're going through goddamn hell right now. Nick Pasquale Foundation. I'm gonna work with Brad. October 11th down in San Clemente. Let's get it. Let's get it going. They're getting scholarships for kids. Molly's challenge. Please, we're on phones right now. Quit bullying people. Don't be a bully. You're a pussy. You're a coward if you're a bully.
Amen. Exactly. Amen. By the way, what you put out in life comes back to you. So if you're going to bully, something's coming for you. Mr. Karma sees it all. So all those bullies out there who are jealous and fuck with people at school or wherever, don't worry, buddy. Men, women, it's coming for you. So be kind, be nice,
Really.
have some compassion. God bless you, Molly. We miss you every day. Molly Klein.
Right.
Um,
You know,
go ahead. Mhm.
I love it. It's funny. Molly Klein, and I look at my Molly, and I think, what a beautiful flower that dog is, and I think about Molly Klein, and I think what Andrew goes through. Good thing about Andrew right now, he's a friend of the show, a friend of yours. Great. I mean, it was tough having him on, but he educated people. His son's a football. He's gonna be a football star in Texas. So let's
Yeah,
root for his. We'll get to school up there. I went to University of Texas. Football's religion down there. So Andrew's gonna have a good run with that. And nothing
yeah.
takes his mind
Matty
away from
Klein.
his daughter. What's that?
Matt Klein. That's his son's name. He is
What
a
does he play?
beast.
Is he a quarterback, Brad? Do you remember
I
what
don't think
position?
I maybe tight end or maybe a
Let's
receiver. I
I'll give
think.
you a homework assignment. Find out the
Yeah.
school, call Andrew or text him, and we'll follow his stats and we'll
Okay.
follow the because he's at a good school. And
Yeah.
Texas football is huge. You saw Friday Night Lights and Varsity
Yeah.
Blues and all
Great.
that shit. It
Yeah.
is. Get us out of here.
All right. 72 in the books, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank the Cloudwater people, Mark and Barry, and just have everybody, be kind. Help somebody if you can. Don't tell anybody you're helping anybody. Just do it. Okay. We'll see you next week for 73. I love you. That's Eric Fish Snyder. I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, aka Snacks. We'll see you next time on Fat Fish.
You've been listening to the Fat Fish Podcast, heard on all your favorite platforms. Until next time.
Kenny. Oh, yeah. Love you, fish.
You've been listening